And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We start today out chilly. It's dropped about 3 to 4 degrees since I walked in a couple hours ago. We're down to 34 this morning as you're waking up. 34 of them. Brr. We're expecting a high of about 58 today, as we'll see temperatures start to rise toward the weekend because rain is coming. Expected to be even colder tonight. We'll get into the 20s tonight. We're looking for a low around 29. So if you're going to be heading out to the Christmas tree lighting, well, make sure that that you've wear a coat and you're ready for all of that. That's coming up. May have to make an adjustment here as we go to the First Baptist Church of Collinsville. I'll hit the button and see if I've done the right thing. If not, we'll fix it real quick. Good morning to you.
Count your blessings. Name them one by one. Count your blessings. See what God has done. Indeed, all human beings have been.
I remember a job I had when I started college. I enjoyed the job because it gave me an opportunity to do things I'd not done before. During the course of a workday, the owner of the company would walk around and ask each employee, "What are you working on?" Now that became pretty annoying because he did it almost every day, and sometimes it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. But it was his way of making sure we were working with some kind of purpose, always working towards something. God does all that He does with purpose. Paul speaks to this in Ephesians 1, 7 through 10. He talks about our redemption through the blood of Christ, forgiveness of sins in accordance with the riches of God's grace, and how God made known the mystery of His will according to His good pleasure, which He purposed in Christ. All that God has done for us in Christ has purpose. He summarizes this in verse 10, where he says, "To be put into effect when the times will have reached their fulfillment, to bring all things in heaven and on earth together under one head, even Christ." Be thankful today that God is not up in heaven trying to figure out what His next move will be to accomplish what He desires to do. He has a redemptive plan, and that plan will come together to accomplish what God has purposed in Christ for our good and His glory. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, Mounty Cabinetry, and Parker Marketing Insurance Advisors. Okay, we're going to get on path now. Be paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing there. Good morning. I am your friend Scotty Ray, and I do hope your morning is going well. Odie is here. We've got special guests coming up at the top of the hour. The Bikers United are going to be joining us, all about helping some kids. They're going to be here to tell us more about that beginning at 7 o'clock. I do hope you'll come back for that second show, as we'll tell you all the ins and outs of what's gone on over the last 24 hours. And it's been a lot. Let me just tell you that. Big Brother, I know that's brought up a lot as we start looking at headlines this morning. I think we all love speed to some degree, a fast car, sound of pipes rattling. How would you like it if, your car was programmed where it wouldn't go more than the speed limit? Some think that. They're trying to invent software that would do that. It wouldn't work in a scary movie. We all know that. You'd never get away. The bad guy chasing you.
Cause more wrecks.
It would. I'm just not for that. I know that there are some there. Police chases would really go south, wouldn't they?
None of the cop cars.
What would happen is, we all know it, just like all these laws they try to pass against people that have concealed permits. The bad guys would still have theirs. The good guys would be able to go 40. Just food for thought. But that is in the works behind the scenes. I never watched this because it's just a little too late for me, but anybody watch Stephen Colbert? He's that nighttime talk show host. This week the show is out. He's had a burst appendix. He's recovering. Now, he and I may not be on the same level of politics and things, but I do wish him a recovery, and I hope he gets better. It's tough to go through stuff like that. I have never have, but I'm told that is not fun at all. Poof. Dalewood, Alan Carlisle, how in the world you doing? Charlotte's joining us from Philadelphia. I see Tammy joining us from Tumsuba. A bunch of you up there. Miss Dorothy, how are you? Yesterday, Michigan is where we go for our next headline today of a 12-year-old child What could he been doing? Well, they were working on the school where he was. Big forklift, one of the big ones there. He found the keys. Went on a ride. It went on for about an hour. 10 cars destroyed as he tried to navigate that big thing. Somebody will be blamed for that, but at the end of the day, child shouldn't have took it. Election people, they say it's not possible, that it's been done before, at least it's been rematches, but no one's ever been. It's been since 1950 that a former president would run for re-election with someone else in between. You know where I'm going with this? They say they usually lose. Can Trump take it? We'll see. That's coming in 24, and you know it as well as I do. That will happen there. Illinois win. Lottery. What happens when you go in to buy a ticket? You know exactly what you're going to buy. You tell the clerk, and they hand you a ticket, and you go, well, that's not right. Well, the guy didn't argue. He said, well, I'll buy it anyway. It was worth $400,000. A mistake on the clerk made. I know he's tickled over that. He says he'll take the money now and go travel. It's always nice to think that if you win, what you would do, wouldn't it? Well, he'll get a little time off now. Get to go do that. Hope he enjoys himself. Sometimes that money goes faster than anything. How many times have we seen it destroy lives? Alex Jones, I brought that up in the headlines this morning. He is the guy that you'll remember from all the Sandy Hook stuff. They kept claiming, well, that's not real. That really didn't happen. Those were fake actors. Well, they took him to court, all those families. They won. They won $1.5 billion. The problem is Alex Jones does not have $1.5 billion, and they've come back with a counteroffer and said, we'll take $85 million. Alex Jones says, I don't have $85 million. We'll see what becomes of this as they try to get money. Oh, he's got some, but he doesn't have that kind of money. We'll see what happens in the end as lawsuits continue over this. But it just kept going and going and going. He didn't back off what he was claiming. A lot of people believed all of that. It did happen. It was people that lost their lives. Tragedy. It was awful there. Uptick. Have y'all seen all this respiratory illness? This is lots of talk of this, respiratory illness. There's talk that something else may have slipped into the States from China. Is it true? I don't know. But I do know that there are a lot of hospitals that have a lot of upticks for people being sick this year. Something to watch. Is someone hiding information? We'll see. A female shooter is on the run. Chicago police looking for her as she shot into a large crowd at the Northwestern University campus. You can't stereotype people anymore whatsoever. You don't know who it is that will snap and do these things anymore. Now again, if it wasn't a gun, it would be another object that they would use to do harm to others. How many times have we seen vehicles jump curves and they chase people with that? It happens. A bad person is going to find a way to do wrong. We have to deal with them and make them, well, pay for what they've done. So many times laws protect those, and no one ever pays for what they've done. They blame it on somebody else. It was the manufacturer that made this. Yeah, tell me another lie. Biden being slammed this morning. Oh, I'm sure that y'all agree with this. Anybody remember, and I've said it before, so this is nothing new. Anybody remember $1.69 gas? Now, the latest I've seen here in Mississippi is about $2.49, $2.52. In other parts of the United States, still hovering at $3.40. Those are good prices for those areas. But they're mad at him this week because he's bragging that he's brought the prices down. Does he think that the American people don't remember that the prices were low and they went up? And they move a few pennies, and he wants to do a dance, a victory dance. His economic record is horrible, and y'all know that as well as I do. You can candy coat it, but you still can't change the truth. We have a principal, we have an assistant principal, and coaches that have been reassigned in Florida. They broke some rules. They let a transgender student onto a team. It changed everything. People close to it are trying to say that that person had not decided if they had changed what they were. At the end of the day, you don't do it in Florida, and they've reassigned them. Not real happy there. And y'all tell me what this show used to be. I've seen it a few times years back. Was it 60 Minutes? Who was it that used to set up the stings to where they'd be at the motel room and somebody had come to meet someone and then they'd bust in with the cameras and go, "You're busted." I can't remember the name of it. Boy, you want to talk about going to the top of things on this one. A top Pentagon official who is 64 years old, who oversaw the entire U.S. military school system, was busted. Yep, same type sting operation for paying an agent for a whoopee in a motel room. He's saying that he showed up to get a massage. They actually have masseuses with offices. You don't have to go to motel rooms to get those, if anybody was wondering. Just thought I'd bring that up. The things that you're told. Oh, the things that we don't know. Laws, and we'll talk about later on about Mississippi. We have someone that is on death row that is claiming that they don't belong there. Here's a prime example as we go to Illinois. He's 49 years old. He was sent to prison for killing 2 women. He got out in good behavior. Right after being released, he shot his wife and killed her. Now, is there such thing as rehabilitation? It sure is. But the United States has got to be more careful with this. That's how so many things happen. Domestic disputes, domestic killings, people that it needs to be watched. A killer on the street and he's struck again. That's what that all amounted to. It's bad when other cops do bad things, isn't it? An off-duty Washington, D.C. officer, I said that wrong, didn't I? Led cops on a chase, 120 miles an hour. And the headline here is not that he ran from the law to me, but he was driving a Telsa. 120 miles an hour in a Telsa and outrun the cops? Honestly, I thought they would run about 75. Has this changed? Y'all remember Jeff Dunham, a Prius, all that? But a Telsa, are they that fast? They must be. Those batteries on those things must be supercharged, even though they're electric. I honestly I don't know much about Telsas. I've seen them in a parking lot, and I know they cost a lot. But boy, that's fast, isn't it? We see that 11 more hostages are freed from Israel. The last count I saw somewhere around at least 10 Americans still being held captive by these bad guys over there. Will the ceasefire continue? It's still negotiating. We'll see what becomes of that. We should hear more about that today. Let's hope that our American people are turned loose. We do hope that. Chicago, and I don't make these numbers up. Last count, 20 of these happened in a day. What am I talking about? Armed robberies, street corners where they drive up, you're walking down the street, and armed bandits jump out of cars with AR-15s and rob innocent people. 20 of those were listed in a day there, Chicago. It's getting bad, isn't it? We don't have that many here, but boy, our criminals sure learn from these large cities. Whatever you see happen in a large city will eventually trickle down. It's not like the clothing line. I can remember going to California as a kid and seeing bell-bottom blue jeans and thinking, what is that? Well, it took about 5 years for it to make it to Mississippi. The thing about criminals, they pick things up a lot quicker. If you see it happening in a large city, expect it to happen here pretty quick. They talk. It's a network. It's an empire, without a doubt. We'll be right back with more information and weather as we get this cool morning started. Let's put a smile on and face it all. Good morning. Philadelphia Gun & Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun & Pawn. Are you looking for a job that could last a lifetime? Structural Steel is hiring now. With employees that have been there from 20 to 40 years, they're family owned and operated since 1975. Competitive starting wages, a 401k package, and great insurance. Immediate openings on the day shift and night shift. From entry-level helpers, welding and tacking, grinding and fitting. And the list goes on of job openings. Start your future today at Structural Steel. Call 483-5381.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look back at our record highs and record lows, it was 2016, a record warm day of 79. Now, I wasn't around. 1938 was a cold day. It was 19 degrees on this day. Whew. What a chilly one it was. Now, we're expecting 57 today as we go northward through Philadelphia. We'll make our way up to Knox Pater and all the way to Columbus Air Force Base, making it at about 53. The Delta, somewhere between 55 to 57 is what we'll see there. And down in Hattiesburg, even warmer toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast at 59 today. As we glance across Alabama, Clanton should see 54 as you go northward. Cooler at Birmingham, 52 there. Montgomery should see 57, and we'll even see that in Livingston over to Demopolis at the river there, around 57 today. Nice weather. It's going to be sunny. Perfect weather as we see that temperatures are going to start warming. Why? Rain's on the way. This is what we're seeing here. Above average into the Carolinas this morning, even making it up toward Washington as well. Now, here's that 7-day forecast. 57 today. Get another log for the fire tonight as we'll see 29 degrees. It will be cold. Tomorrow we'll bounce back with a high of 60, down to 35 tomorrow night. And by Thursday we're seeing 60. And then that rain moves into the forecast on Friday with a high somewhere around 73 with lows of 52 with a 50% chance of showers. Now tomorrow we'll have Terrence come in. Let me correct myself. Terrence will be in to tell us about the Christmas parade and backup plans as we see that Saturday has a 60% chance of rain. Hopefully this will fall right and we'll be able to have the parade. As we glance through Sunday, still a 60% chance of showers. Rain is in that forecast all the way through Monday, and back to work we go. As we glance to the 5th, things start to break up there. If you've got a Christmas parade on the 5th, it's looking pretty good there. We've got high of 62, sunshine, and 37 for that low. And our next big chance of rain will start rolling in somewhere around next weekend, just in time for the next round of, well, Christmas parades. That's what we've got, 60-degree weather all the way toward December the 12th. That makes us really close to Christmas, doesn't it? Can you believe that? As we look at our fishing calendar this morning, we go to Chet's Paint and Body to figure out what's going to happen. Your perfect time to go fishing today is going to be high noon, right there at 5 till 11:55 to about 2 o'clock is going to be perfect for fishing today. The wind's going to be light to north-northwest, increasing to 5 to 10 degrees. Not horribly. Let's take a look and see what's happening with the hunting calendar as we see what happens. It'll be just after lunch that it gets right. Your major time will be 12:02 to about 2 to 3. So the hunting and fishing are really close this morning. Make sure there if you make it. Again, that wind's going to be light northwest, increasing 5 to 10 is what we've got out there happening with the wind. Again, right now, cold. It's 34. Warm up your car if you can in the area that you live in. Be cautious. People want to borrow what you work hard for. We don't want you to become a victim. If you have 2 sets of keys, lock it that way. We'll be right back as we get ready. Bikers will be here for us. We'll tell you all about the big fire that happened last night. Yeah. All that's on the way this morning with the Scotty Ray Report with Scotty Ray and Odie. Join us, won't you, live at 7.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.